Welcome back everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Hard Hitting. And that's Hard Hitting, and he's driving the T-28 on a confrontation battle on Prokhorovka. T-28 being a tier 4 medium tank for the Russians, and this one is once again a Russia versus Germany confrontation battle. And these things never, from what I've seen, tend to really go Germany's favour. But then again, the most of these that I've seen have been at tier 9 and tier 10, so be interesting to see if a lower tiered one has a bit more chance of swinging in the Germans' favour. That being said though, the Allied team here has a good showing of KV-1s. And this many KV-1s is going to be a real task for the enemy team to work down. Just the sheer amount of armour that these things have, they can be really troll when they are top tier. Well, saying that, they can be really troll at tier 6 as well. These things can be very difficult to damage at times. So it's going to be interesting to see how the enemy team deals with this. They do have a couple of Panzer Souffleurs there that are going to have an easy time of penning the front of a KV-1. Spots out a Hetzer here. He's way back in base. Just going to allow his reticule to close in. Now this gun is it doesn't have fantastic alpha damage, as you can see there, but it has a really good rate of fire and a decent penetration. I think it's got a pen of about 110. In fact, we'll just take a quick look at that. Has a penetration of average of 112, but as you can see, the alpha not fantastic. Spots that Panzer Souffleur there. Going to have a few shots at him, but just firing into the dark here, trying to predict whereabouts he's going to go. And I guess we'll have to wait and see when he shows up later to see if that was successful or not. So yeah, a gun on this thing can really catch people off guard. You can hit them once and then think to themselves, well, I've got a little bit of time. I'll hang out in the open for a little bit longer, but then they just get worked down by the machine gun style of the cannon. Having a quick look at this Panzer 3-4 at the top here, just taking his time, going to see if he decides to back off and see what he can do about it. The Panzer 3-4 is backing off, has his shot, and that's a beautiful prediction shot there from Hard Hitting, especially considering that the Panzer 3-4 was shielded by the hill there, so couldn't really get a good gauge on how fast he was moving and in what direction. Could only see the tank icon above there. So doing a very good job of predicting that. Finds a Stug 3 here. Going to have a few shots at him, but he fades off into the fog of war. Not really going to be able to get anything else on him. Going to have a few more prediction shots. Just going to think that he's going to continue to back off, so just going to try and pile more shots into him. Now the great thing about the position here that Hard Hitting's taken is it really gives you command of almost all of the battlefield. Allows you some shots on the hill to the right hand side. Oh, finds a second Stug here. It allows you to shoot at anybody advancing down that left hand flank, which it looks like the enemy team is doing here, pushing quite heavily, just considering that the Allied team hasn't done anything with that flank. They've got a few KV-1s camping in the back there, defending, but nobody else really pushing down this flank, so the enemy team with the Stugs there deciding to come in and try and make a push of their own. The only problem with getting shots on the enemy's cap circle from here is you do have to crest the hill and go pretty much all the way over the top, which does expose you and leave you a little bit out in the open. And that Panzer IV just gets annihilated there. So it looks like the ill-fated push on that left-hand flank has stalled out now. But then again, the Allies aren't really going to push, so that one looks like it's just going to be a stalemate. This game fairly even at the moment at 6 kills to 5. Definitely looks like nobody else is really going to push on that flank. Everyone's seen the way that the game is going, seen that those Stugs get taken out, and that Panzer IV, nobody else really wants to be a part of it. Somehow this Stug gets spotted out. I think it's probably because he's moving, and that may be the one from earlier, and he gets taken out by KV-1's derp there. But it looks like some of the guys have been spotted, and Hard Hitting thinks to himself that this spot has pretty much used up its usefulness, which it has. Nobody else really to get shots on. The hill has been totally overrun. The left-hand flank is fairly secure. They've got one KV-1 there. To be honest, if that DW2 and 3001H decided to push, which indeed they have, they could get something good out of this situation. It's going to allow his reticule to close all the way in. Going to want maximum accuracy at this almost 500 meter range. As you can see, even when fully aimed, shot still goes awry there. Not really leading the target enough that time. Does get a good hit on him there. I think he actually may have eliminated his track there, but he's doing some good target leading prediction here. But like I said, I think he removed the track of that thing, so I don't think that was going to be for naught, unfortunately. And Marder 2 sneaks past here, so hard hitting just going to go and take him out. Marder 2 got no armor at the best of times, and especially not in the rear, just finishes him off with a little bit of a ram there. So the left-hand flank has been overrun now. That last KV-1's finally been taken out. So the Allies are going to have to push on this right-hand flank a little bit quickly, just to give the enemy team something to think about. Because they're not going to want to continue a push if their own base is being threatened. So hard hitting going to move up this flank here and try and get around this Panzer. But he's doing the smart thing of just covering off the hill and then backing off, just so that anybody who wants to come and get him is going to have to come all the way over the top of that hill and take at least one shot in the face as they do so. Although he is only a one shot himself, only got 53 hit points, and even with this small alpha damage gun, hard hitting would easily be able to take him out in a single shot. But what he's doing here is fairly smart, keeping his attention on himself so that their Su-85 can sneak over the top and hopefully put a shot straight into his rear, which it looks like he should be able to do. Panzer realised what was happening at the last second, tried in vain to turn to the Su-85, and that's when hard hitting made his move to try and come over the top of the hill, so that if he had been able to defend himself against the Su-85, at least hard hitting would have been able to finish him off as well. So an excellent piece of team play by these two guys there. But as you can see, their own base is in peril. Got a few guys on this right hand flank. One of them looks like he's dropped back. This DW2's come all the way back to try and defend. And it looks like he's spotted the Su-85 and looks like he's going to be trying to duel with him, and that's when it's going to be hard hitting's opportunity to pounce. Personally, I would have went a little bit further left to go around the back of him. He's got his attention here, which at least means that his allies in front aren't going to be taking any shots from him. If he can keep his gun pointed at him, then this Su-85 is going to have an easy time of just working him down. He's had his shot now, so hard hitting makes his move, crests over the top of the hill, gets a good hit into him. Looks like he was trying to take out his track, but not quite able to get that one done. But he is able just to put shot after shot into this guy. Finally takes out the track, takes a hit himself, takes out his second track, and just one good shot should be able to take him out, which it does, and that is kill number 4. So the game's still pretty even here at 12 kills to 11. The enemy team's got a 30-01 with 6 kills, so he's got himself a Top Gun medal. So he's definitely going to be the guy to watch for, as it seems like he's on a bit of a roll. But the Allies all got the same kind of idea, and they're all going to be heading over to the left-hand flank there and going to be trying to work their way down to try and find the enemy tanks. And we'll just speed this one up a little bit till we get back into the action. As you can see, the enemy's starting a base capture. There's only one tank in there though, so that still leaves 2 of them unaccounted for. My guess would be it's the 30-01, which it is, capping. And he is still on full hit points as well. Still got 100% of his hit points and 6 kills. So this guy is probably going to prove to be a little bit tough to take out. Hard hitting just peeking his head over the top to keep this guy spotted while his allies have some shots at him. It looks like everybody is arranged now to have shots on this 30-01, and he's going to have a real bad day here. Oh, takes a penetrating hit from a derp cannon there. As you saw, lost 400 and some hit points, so he's not having a good day now, and he's got nowhere to hide. Although hard hitting takes a shot up from the right hand side from that stug somewhere. Had to use his repair kit because he needed to drop back behind the hill to make sure he didn't die. Only got 61 hit points left, and really instrumental in the taking out of that 30-01 there, keeping his eyes on the tank so that all of his allies would be able to get shots on him. And now it's just a case of finding the Stug 3 and finding this Wesp, working them down. So he's going to be heading over the train tracks all the way on this left-hand side, just in an effort to have this hill in front of him shield off any more hits that he may take from this Stug. And going to allow his allies to do some of the scouting for him, as he can't see him with his own eyes. At KV-1, looks like everybody's moving across this left-hand flank, so that's the last place that the Stug was spotted. That will be my guess as well as to where he would be. Although he could be in a more central location, because the shot that he landed on the tracks of the T-28 was pretty nice, and it would have been a pretty big ask from that distance, considering he popped himself up at different spots every single time. Maybe unless his camo hadn't kicked in, so you could see him the whole time. Finds the Wesp in the far corner, just out of render range for hard hitting here, but it doesn't matter because the Su-85 takes him out. Decides to make a move now, as if the Stug was over there, he would have been spotted. He's not. He's in the centre here, and he's got a perfect shot on his rear armour, just waiting to take his opportunity, and there it is. That is kill number 5 for hard hitting. So not a massive kill game, not a massive amount of damage, but really being instrumental in his team's victory, holding that centre there and really lending support to both flanks, and then being instrumental in the killing of that 30-01 at the end there. So absolutely awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget to stick around, because as always the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Cookie. That's Cookie, and he's driving the KV-1 on a standard battle on Wide Park. KV-1 being a tier 5 heavy tank for the Russians. So I decided to just go with a couple of lower tiered games this week. Well, not this week, today. Bringing the T-28, which is tier 4, and the KV-1, which is tier 5. I just don't want to get into the habit of bringing you only tier 8 plus games. Because there is a whole wealth of other tiers below tier 8 where you get some really exciting, really cool games. So like I said, I don't want to get stuck in the habit of only bringing high tiered games when there is a wealth of awesomeness out there. Cookie just having a cheeky shot through the archway there, does just hit the brickwork, so not really scoring any hits there. Going to be heading all the way over to this left hand flank. I'm going to be seeing who he can come up against, but like I said in the previous replay, KV-1, when it's top tier, is a complete and utter beast when you play it right. This thing is very, very difficult to damage, but as you can see, not very manoeuvrable. Coming up against this medium 3 here, takes a hit in the left-hand side there from the M2 medium, but even through the side is not going to take any damage. Gets his gun destroyed, actually. That looks like it was destroyed by the Chi-He, so having to use his repair kit early on that one. Decides to angle his armor towards the Chi-He now, just to try and get some revenge damage onto him, which he does. I don't think that Chi-He's going to be able to fall back far enough, and Cookie's able to land 2 good hits on him. Will he be able to get one more for the kill? Yes, he can, and that is kill number 2 now. Taking a little bit of damage from somewhere, probably that other KV-1 just across the ways there. Just bounces on the engine deck with that shot, unfortunately. And the enemy pushing forward with a DW2. But just going to allow his allies to try and deal with that one, as he's got a few tanks in front of him that he needs to worry about just about now. Not able to get anything on that M2 medium. He has been spotted out by somebody here, so decides to advance forwards. Just got to remember that he does have that KV-1 around the corner there. Looks like this M2 medium's coming to try and have a go. Not really sure what he thinks he's going to achieve. He does have that derp cannon, so he is going to get some damage, but he's looking in the wrong direction. He's actually looking down the road and shooting at somebody else there. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Maybe he just wasn't aware that the KV-1 was here, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. Possibly could have got some damage onto Cookie there, but as it is, just gets himself taken out. Cookie's first shot lands on this KV-1, takes his track out, second one lands and takes him out. That DW2, well, was still alive, but then gets himself taken out by that SAU 40. And that is the battle for the subway won now. It's going to be a case of head through the town, try and mop up the last remaining tanks. Got to be careful, though, as that right-hand flank hasn't gone particularly well for them, and the enemy team is pushing through. The game's all even at the moment at 10 kills to 10. So this definitely not a foregone conclusion, but as you can see, the allies think they've got this one in the bag, so not really bothering to go for that base capture. And to be honest, with what's left on the enemy team, I'd be tempted to think the same thing as well. Cookie going to be heading over to try and get a hit on someone. A shot lands on the ground there by the looks of it. Not really sure who that was from, as the enemy doesn't have any artillery, and it doesn't look like... Ah, there we go. There's an Excelsior over there. So maybe the Excelsior fired and just hit the ground there next to the KV-1. But Cookie not going to crest over the hill just yet. Going to come around here and try and take out this Excelsior, because if this Excelsior can get away, it's going to prove to be a little bit difficult later. Just picking out his weak spot there, spending a little time aiming rather than just rushing his shot, which is something I tend to do a lot of the time. Does get his track taken out, but I don't think this Excelsior is going to be any match whatsoever for the KV-1, especially when he's tracked there. Takes a shot in the rear, but that doesn't matter either, as this T-28's got no chance of being able to take out a KV-1, even from the rear. Did have his track taken out, so not able to use turret and body traverse at the same time. And it looks like the rest of his team went over the hill to try and meet the guys from the right-hand flank and just got obliterated. So now going to have to try and do something about the base capture himself. Got that T-28 on the left-hand side, but to be honest, T-28 isn't too much to worry about because it looks like he's got that low-pen gun. Looks like the KV-1's come over the hill to try and fight head-on with Cookie. Cookie's able to take his track out and then take him out in short order. They've got 2 tanks in the cap circle now, so not wasting any time. Letting his reticule close in. 5 seconds left, and he takes out the Wolverine. The Wolverine just not paying attention at all there. Really just caught short. To be honest, he knew exactly where Cookie was and knew exactly where Cookie was coming from. So should have gotten him, been able to get himself into cover or at least moving. But as it is, just got himself in the cap circle. Thought that the game was a foregone conclusion, but gets himself taken out. At least that Matilda had the common sense to be behind a little bit of a hill. Not that that really did anything either. His T-28 comes in to try and be the hero, but his track is gone. And that's GG and the victory. Cookie picks that one up at the end, all by himself. And that is the victory. So, absolutely awesome replay from Cookie. Picking himself up 9 kills and 2,500 damage, which is no mean feat in a tier 5 tank. So, absolutely awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, or even just a good replay, then please send that in to replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. Don't forget to hit like, favourite, and leave me a comment if you enjoyed or found this video useful. And if you're not already, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.